Hello folks, in this video we will learn about HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language and this is the building block of the web. So any website you see online, be it ChatGPT, Wikipedia or Flipkart, all of this is built using HTML. But then we use styles using CSS and write the logic using JavaScript, but the basic skeleton is always HTML. So here as you can see, I have my VS Code opened on the left hand side and on the right side I have a browser opened. Now in the VS Code we need one extension, so you can click on the boxes and here I will write live server, and I have already live server installed, but you can simply get this one and get it installed. You will see why this helps. So now I will go back to my files and in the HTML I will create one file. Let's name the file as index.html, and now we will start writing HTML from scratch. So every HTML file starts from something called HTML inside angular brackets, and once we declare something, it is also important to close it by one slash. Now inside HTML we have something called head and we also have something called body. So what are these things? Let's look at this web page. At the top we have new tab and one small icon over here. All of this is coming from the head, and we have this page, we have one input bar, some links, everything is coming from the body. So this is how the page is structured. So now we are creating a new page. So inside the head I will write one title, and let's name the title as HTML tutorial, and in the body section I can write anything. This is a HTML tutorial page. So now how can we open this page? So we can simply right click on index.html and open with live server, or we can also click on the go live icon over here. So I will open it like this, and then it will open this page, and now we can edit this page live. So this is the way live server is helping us. So now here what do we have? At the top we have HTML tutorial, and here we have, this is a HTML tutorial page. So as you can see, the head is coming over here at the top and the body is coming at this page. So now inside the body we generally don't write text like this. We have different ways of writing text. So the first thing that we will write is something called h1, and let's write HTML tutorial 1, and we see this thing is in bold. Now so what is h1? H1 is basically called heading 1, and there are 6 kinds of headings. Those are starting from h1 to h6. So let's make 5 copies of this one to compare. So the next thing will be my h2, then we have h3, then we have h4, then we have h5, and lastly we have h6. And as you can see, these are the 6 headings. So the size is going down. Let's make it 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So these are the 6 headings that we have. And after the headings, let's say I want to write a paragraph. So paragraph is like any normal text. So I can write one P. This is an HTML tutorial page, and as you can see I have one normal paragraph. Now I will show you one shortcut of writing a lot of text. Let's say you don't know what to write, so you can simply write lorem 5, 10, anything. After lorem you can put any number and it will generate that many words. So if I write lorem 5, it will generate 5 words. If I write, let's say, lorem 10, it will generate 10 words for me. So let's say you don't know what to write, so you can simply use the lorem. So let me just write lorem 50, and we have one paragraph over here. So this is how p tag works. So as you can see, both of these are coming in the separate paragraph. After this HTML tutorial page, if I keep on writing, it will add in the same paragraph. So let's say what did you learn? What did you learn today? As you can see, the line is continuing. So that is how the p tag works. Now after the p tag we will see something that is underline, bold, italics. How can we add these things? So let's say inside this p tag I want to make the HTML in bold. So how can we do that? So I can simply write over here B, and I also have to close it, and I will put the HTML inside this B, inside this B, and as you can see the HTML is in bold. So that is how the p tag works. But let's say I want to do a both bold and underline. So I can write over here U, and I will wrap the B inside this U also. So as you can see, this becomes bold underline, and I can also make it separate. So for, let's say I only want to make an underline in the page, so I can make one U and I will simply underline this page, and as you can see, the page is now underlined. And for italics I will use the I, and let's say what did you learn, I will put the word inside this italics. So as you can see, this is how bold, italic and underline works. But let's say after this HTML tutorial page, I want to break one line. Now we already know we can use separate p tags, but there is another way to do this also, and that is by adding something called br. And what this will add is, this is line break, and this doesn't have any closing tags, it will only be written as br. So as you can see, this went to the next line. We can make two brs, and then we will have two line breaks. And as you can see, it just increased. Last one was this, and the new one is this. And let's say I want to break the line, but I also want some underline kind of thing. So for that we can write HR, and this also doesn't close. So I will get one underline over here. Let's put the underline before the next p tag. So here I will put one HR. Yeah, now this looks much more formatted. So that's all about this underline and bold tags and everything. So now we will learn about lists. What are lists? So in HTML there are two kinds of lists, ordered lists and unordered lists. First of all, let's check the unordered list. And inside this unordered list, I will write one list by writing li, and let's say item 1. So as you can see, we have one item 1 over here. And also I will tell you one shortcut. I will write li and I will multiply by 4 and I will get 4. And I can also put the values. So let's say li multiplied by 4, li, and then inside one curly braces I will write item $, and then I will multiply by 4. So what do we get? Item 1 2 3 4. So this is how unordered list works. Now let's write the same thing in ordered list, and let's also remove this 6 h1 tags. And here let's also learn about what are comments. So we can simply press Ctrl and then slash, and you will get a comment like this. That means it will not read this line. So you can check this syntax out. This is the comment, and if you just press the same thing again, the comment will be gone. And for multiple lines, you can just select all of them and write one comment. So this is a comment from line 1 to 6. So if you just uncomment one line, there will be a syntax error. So you have to uncomment the whole thing like this. So let's comment it out for some space, and now let's create one order list. So I will just copy paste this one, and here instead of ul I will write ol. And as you can see, we get an order list. Unordered list is coming with bullets, and ordered list is coming with 1 2 3 4. Yeah, so that is all about lists. And then we will learn about something called forms. And what are forms? So forms are generally something that we submit, and after submitting, some new page will open. So let's say after submitting this form, I want an action, and that is form.html page should open. Now we don't have any form.html page right now, but we will make one. And inside this form I can put one label, and let's give one label for first name, and here I will write first name. First name, we have one first name over here. And then let's put one input, and this input type will have text, and we will get one input like this. And if I make it, there are also many inputs over here. We can make it checkbox, then it will simply check. So there are many kinds of inputs, you can definitely check it out, but as of now I will click on text. Now after that I will create one button, and let's give the type of this button as submit. Okay, so we get one button, and we will click right submit over here. And now I also have to create one form.html file, form.html. Okay, now that we have a new HTML file, I will also show you something and how we can generate HTML boilerplates. So in VS Code, you can simply write one exclamation, and it will have this first exclamation sign. So what this is an HTML boilerplate. And when we write enter, as you can see, it has already generated my head and my body. Now I also have this doc type HTML. What it means is, it is telling the browser that this is an HTML file. It is simply making the browser easier to read this file. but this is not something that is mandatory. As you can see in the index.html file, we haven't used this, but this is simply running fine. And what do we have over here? We have meta char set UTF-8 and then meta viewport content. So this is basically few more information that is helping the browser to process this HTML file, but you can simply ignore these things. As you can see in the index.html file, we haven't used any of this and it is still working exactly fine. But let's generally we don't write HTML like this, we use boilerplates, so you can keep these things, but for simplicity in this tutorial only, you can also remove it. So I will simply remove these things. So we have these things, and here in the body section I will write this is a form. So when we are clicking on submit, let's see if this form opens or not. So I will go back to my HTML file, and which is loaded over here, and now I will click on submit, and as you can see this is a form is open, and in the form let me just write something form, and as you can see it is changed to form. So what do we see? That our form is actually working fine. Now let me just reopen the HTML page once again. So now what happens generally is we have JavaScript and we have a lot of logic. So let's say this is a form to submit something, let's say username or password, or it can be anything, any kind of information. So we generally need JavaScript to handle those kind of things, but here it's just to give you an idea that this is how forms work. And after form we will discuss something that is called table, and the name basically says it what it is. And inside table we have few more tags, tr, and inside we have th, and here let me write header 1. So what this tr is, this tr is a row, and this th is, h stands for header, and let's also create another header 2. So we have two headers, and as you can see this is coming in row wise, not column wise. And then we will create some rows. So again we will create one row, and here I will write td, and inside this td, let's say this is my first row and also the first column, so it will come over here, and then this is the second column, this is the third column. So as you can see, as we are moving forward these rows, we are creating more and more rows, and we can create 2 more of this, and now we will change all the rows. So instead of row 1 I will make it row 2, and also for this ones I will make it row 3. So as you can see this is how it works. We have made a simple table over here, but we generally don't use these things too much, because in modern web development we use frameworks like React, and where we don't really have to write HTML, but it's important to understand how the basic HTML works. So now we will also see something very important, and that is links. So how can we work with links? It is very simple. I will simply write a, and inside this href I will write whatever the link I want to go. So I will simply write, let's say www.google.com, and here let me write Google. So as you can see we got one hyperlink, and when we click on this I cannot go to google.com, so let me just copy the exact URL. So I have this one, so let me just paste it over here, and to go to a new page when we are clicking I will simply write target blank. So now let me just reopen the index.html file. So we got it, and now when I click on Google, as you can see in a new tab I am opening Google. So let me also open Wikipedia, and what do we have? Wikipedia, and let me copy this URL, and let me just paste the link over here, https://wikipedia.org, and let me write Wikipedia. So let me go back to my file. Okay, let's also add one line break, and now let's add 2. Now when I click on Wikipedia, as you can see in a new tab Wikipedia is opening. So this is how you can work with links. It is very simple. And now what we will see is how we can add images, videos and audios. This is also very interesting. So now I will add 2 more line breaks, and let's also remove some of the above things only to make it more simple. So let's just comment out everything up to this line. Yeah, so we have on Google and Wikipedia, and now we will see how we can import some images. So in the HTML folder, I have already made one assets folder with one image. That is one of my old videos of Canvas. You can also check it out, it's very interesting. And then we have one video of one of my YouTube videos and one audio file. So I have these files now. I want to load it using HTML. So how can we do that? So to load images, I can simply write img, and inside this img I have one source and one alternative. So in this source I will give my address of my image. So I will simply write / and I will go to my assets folder, and here I will just put my whatever my image I have, and in the alternate I will simply write what I want to tell users in case I don't have any image. So let's say canvas image, canvas thumbnail. So right now I have an image, so the image is loading, but it is too big, so I will just use one width of 300. So now it has some size. We can also make one height, let's say 200, but let's just keep as it is, otherwise it will be stretched. It will adjust the height on its own. And let's say I write something that is not present, canvas basics 2, then I will have this thing. That is one canvas thumbnail is over here, but it is not able to find it. So let me just put it as it is. So this is how we can import images. We can now import any image we want based on the source. Now next thing we want is how we can import videos. So let me just put one line break, and here I will write video, and again I have one source, and inside this source what I will have, I will go to assets and I will load this video, this local storage.mp4, and let me also give the width of 300. And right now we don't see anything, and that is because we have to use one controls. And now we have one video, and when we click on the play button, the video will start playing, and it also has everything a video generally has. We can also improve the playback speed. So here I have a simple counter, and when we click on minus. So I've just paused this one. So this is how you can also load videos. And let's say the video is not present, but we have local storage too, and it is not able to get anything, but it will still load this controls and everything. So that is the thing with videos. And now let's check how we can load audios. So I will add another VR tag, and after this I will load audio, and it is also the same way we can load. We can go to assets and we can load this audio, and there is no width required because it's not like it is taking up some screen, and that's the thing. And we have to write controls. So we got one audio player, and instead of one, let's also add 2 line breaks to get some more space. So now let's play this audio. Very interesting audio, isn't it? So let me also just lower the volume. Yeah, very interesting, right? So that's it. That's how we can load images, videos, and audios. And now one last thing we will see before closing the video, and that is spans and divs and what is semantic HTML. So let me once again just comment out all these parts. So right now all the things we have seen, that is let's uncomment these parts again. So this table, this form, this list, and everything we have, all of these have some predefined styles. So let's say paragraph behaves in a certain way. All of these things have some styles attached to it, and also the headings. But now what we will see is called divs and spans, which doesn't have any styles attached. So I will simply comment out these things and we will see what are divs and spans. So this div and span is something we generally use the most in HTML. So you should pay attention to this thing right now. So inside a div, let me write this is from inside a div. Div basically means division. So we have this thing, and now we can write another div. This is from inside another div, and it will go to the next line. And these things have no styles. So all the styles we gave to divs is using CSS. And now another thing is, let's write the span. This is from a span, and as you can see the span is coming. And now let me write another span this is from another span, and as you can see, it is coming next to it. So that is the thing, the div comes after the next line and the span is in the same line only. So that is the thing. And how we generally add styles to these things, we can write something called style over here, but this is inline CSS. We generally use CSS in separate files, but only to show you, let me just write style color of red, and as you can see, the first one became red. And also similarly we can write other things also. Font size, let's make it 1.5 rem, and as you can see, this one became big. So this is how we add inline CSS. But to add normal CSS, we add class names. Let's name this div2, and we can also write some IDs div2. And in CSS we refer to these classes and IDs, and then we give styles. So this is something we will see in a future video, maybe in a CSS tutorial, but here we will simply move forward. So we can add these things in spans, divs and everything, but in general spans and divs have no styles. So yeah, so when you will learn React, you will see that the whole React application is actually living inside one div. Yeah, it's crazy, but that is how React works. So anyway, as of now we will see only up to this, and now we will check some semantic tags in HTML, and then we will close the video. So what is semantic HTML? So as of now we have seen many things like heading, table, list and many other things, but let's say we want to make one page with some tags that gives some meaning to it. So in that case we use semantic HTML. So let me just comment out this part. And semantic HTML is basically one convention. It's not some new things we are learning, it's just a convention. So we can start by writing header. So I will write this is a header, and a header will come at the top, and we can also write some nav bar. So nav bar, this is the nav bar. Now ideally the nav bar should be at the top, so let me just put it over here, and then we can add the header, and all these headers and everything we can add inside something called section. So this section is basically like wherever we are putting our things. So this is a section, and maybe the header will live at the top of this section. I mean, it depends on your design. However you want to design your web page, you can do it like that. But this is how semantic HTMLs work. Like it is giving some meaning that, you know, this is my nav bar, then this is my section, and inside this section first we have the header, and then we have something else. Now we generally don't write anything like this. We will write inside something called article. So inside this article, let me just put this thing. This is an okay, not section, this is an article, and that is how we get. And also we have something called footers. After this one we have something called footer, where we generally have our contact us information, something like this. It is generally at the bottom of the page. And there is also something called main, like which is identifying the main section. So let me just write main over here. This is the main area, and let me just put everything inside main, header, footer and everything. So I'll just copy all of these things and put it over here, and inside this main and everything we can also use our h1 heading tags and everything. So let's put this thing inside the h2. Now actually the header should be at the top. So I mean that is the thing. This is how you can work with semantic HTML. So to give some meaning to your web page, that's all. And I mean there is nothing much to it actually. And yeah, that's it for HTML. So these are all the things we generally use, and in a future video we will talk about CSS, and I already have many JavaScript and React tutorials on my channel, so you can definitely check that out to make better web pages. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.